Wow, hello, gorgeous ones. It's Fonzie here, which means it's time for yet again that time that comes around once every, whenever the fuck I feel like it. Apologies about that. It's been about a month, but I'm back here. I'm back. I'm on track. Yeah, so episode 17, and a very, very special episode indeed. Now, full disclosure before I go ahead and get started. So, special episode. This means it's going to be a little bit longer than the usual. It's going to be a bit in depth. Some of you are going to think I'm being insensitive at any point. Fucking feel free to pause the episode and fuck off somewhere else. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I am going to joke about this situation because, quite frankly, guys, well, I hope you'll hear the full story and you'll understand why I kind of joke about it now, because I'm done crying. I'm done being, self-inflicting, sadness on myself. I don't want to do that anymore. I need to move positively forwards. And it's, well, you'll see. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. As I said, special episode, which means going forward, means I'll either have a guest on or it's going to be something about, quite long and fatiguing, at least to me. I'm sitting my lard ass in this chair. I'm already breathing heavily. What's that? No, it's nothing to do with the vapes. It's nothing to do with the vapes. Might be a bit to do with the vapes. Yeah, I hope you're all well. So again, apologise that I've been away, and what a time to come back to tell you this story, because those of you have been with me for a while now, and again, there's more of you coming in, and I really appreciate you guys listening. Really, really puts into perspective for me that I know you guys like listening every now and then, which is super appreciated. So let me just paint a picture for you now. All this time, I have, given you the idea that my previous band, like those you don't know, Fonzie and Company was my previous band. And I have been saying for ages that I could not talk about something specific that for legal reasons I could not speak about. Guys, today, technically a couple of days ago, but today I've decided to turn on the mic and finally, maybe get some closure. I know there's a few of you out there that still listen to the podcast. Some of you still speak, some of you don't. To me, to the rest of the bands, and I know some of you would be intrigued. Those of you who don't, just I really hope you can learn, or at least get some inspiration, or just some closure. Or this is my therapy. This is just doing this. Usually the episodes can be a bit funnier. This isn't planned in any way, shape, or form. I just wanted to come in unedited and just speak from the heart. So anyway, here we go. As you probably seen from the title, even right now I'm still unsure what exactly I'm going to name this episode, but those of you who would have clicked on the title would have probably had some form of experience, or at least known someone with this kind of experience. So you'd be clicking on it going, what the fuck is this guy got to say? For that, I guess you're wondering how I got there. Well, we'll have to go back. Said every movie ever. But yeah, let's going back there. I couldn't speak about something because of legal reasons. So let me just paint you a picture. I had just this main thing is going to be about someone called Zach. Zach was my closest friend. He was my buddy, my ally. We did everything together. I met him while I was on a blind date, and the blind date brought him along. Fucking weird. I think I made a joke about that in my wedding speech. She brought the campest bodyguard I've ever seen. And to be fair, didn't end up speaking to the girl after. Ended up speaking to him. I think he called me one day after. And I was like, oh, the fuck, did you get my number? It was weird. I can remember while during the drunkenness of this date, date with a third wheel, should we say. I think there was a fourth person there. But anyway, he got my number. Again, I'm not 100% sure if I gave it to him or she gave it to him, whatever. But he called me and said, oh, yeah, it was good hanging out with you. It's like, oh, you're the guy from the other night. Oh, that's all right. I thought it was quite sweet. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, how are you? Like, yeah, good. Yeah, do you want to like hang out at some point? And you know what? Usually that'd be a red flag. It really would be. But I don't know. He had his way of, getting his way. Well, I'm sure that will all unfold in due time, when I tell you. But, but eventually we just started hanging out. I was in Oxford, I believe, at the time. He would, I don't think he actually ever came there, but I go to Bournemouth quite often, where he was from. And we made, eventually down the line, we made plans to move to Bristol, and still fucking here, unfortunately. But we made plans. He said I was just not having a good time in Oxford, and he gave me that kind of that kind of hope that there's something else out there. He said, Bristol's awesome. I've got friends out there. Oh, we're going to party so hard, man. Like, yeah, I know so many people. It's going to be a great time. We should move out there. So we found an apartment. Admittedly, he paid for a majority of it, to be fair to him, with the understanding that I would pay him back, which eventually I did. But we moved into his place. He was living in Bath at the time, I believe. I had to move in with him for a couple of weeks in his one single bedroom. We were just waiting for our place in Bristol, to which he had a friend. He had one friend out there who was in uni. I'm going to try not to name any names in this, just for the sake of it. I'll just call him O. O was staying in Bristol. Zach knew this guy. We went out there. Bearing in mind, Zach and I had known each other for about 3 years, for about around this point. We went out there to stay with O for a little while in his uni student. I mean, you've heard in previous podcasts what I got to say about students, man. Fucking, have you ever seen their accommodation, especially those first years, man? Holy fuck, dude. It was a hovel at the best of times. I didn't think that was like hair in the plug, you know what I mean? It was just a combination of like moss and hair, and I've never grotesquely I've never gone into a shower and come out more dirty. One of those places. But he was nice enough to let us stay for a bit. Yeah, we did that, and we got our place. Fantastic. This was so long ago, so I'm really trying hard to remember like the timeline officially, but I believe we moved in. We stayed with O for a little while, so I met O through Zach, and me and O got on. We tried to start a band together, yada yada yada. But me and Zach are still in Bristol. Zach did not have a job. I managed to get myself a job pretty much immediately. Zach struggled to get a job immediately. I believe I came back and one day to the flat, and he was just gone. I couldn't believe it. He just vanished. Said, I can't afford to pay the rent, so I've moved out to not cause any trouble. And it was ironic because what he had done was literally put me in the shit, which I found fascinating. That's kind of when I got an inkling for what Zach was about. I mean, even though I'd known the guy for 3 years, it was very, at that time anyway, it was very like see each other every month, every other month, every couple of weeks. It wasn't like constant at that point, but we were, frequently in touch and seeing each other, hanging out, and all that lot. So, where was I? Yeah, so he moves out the flat. I'm stuck in the ship. Said that was a really shitty move, but hey ho, it is what it is. At the time said, I can't remember why. I think he was going somewhere like out, and Zach wanted to come back to Bristol after we'd all like, kissed and made up sort of thing. And I was like, he said, I'm going to stay at O's house. Why don't I stay there and we can go hang out there? And I'm like, great, it'd be good to hang out again. This is about five months later or something like that. And so this is when it gets difficult, guys. So bear in mind, I've known this guy for about 3 and a bit years, maybe at this point. Basically, there was a situation where I don't really see the point. I'm just going to say it right now. Like the dude, while I was sleeping, I woke up to his hands down my trousers, down my pants for all you Americans, by the way. I don't want to sound too British about it. Yes, it was so polite, even about sexual assault. But yeah, this woke up, hands down my pants, dude, proper. And I went outside, I jumped. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And he turned around and pretended to be asleep. And I didn't really know what to do. So I just got up. And I left. Trying to understand exactly what had happened here. As I said before, my joke at the wedding was he was the campest bodyguard I've ever seen. He was a very camp guy, very, very camp. And his sexuality had always come up, as like, a talking point, because I don't think even he knew at one point. I don't know if he was just trying to impress his mates. I mean, it's not like at the time being gay was, completely like out-shunned, you're an outcast of society if you're gay. We're not talking like in the 90s, in the 80s. If you're gay, then that's like considered a bad thing in society for some reason. That was pretty fucked up, by the way. But this is early 2010s. I mean, dude, the gay kids are the bullies at the school now. Shit's changed. Kids are big kids, man. Many genders, many identities, many sexualities. I don't give a fuck. You be who you want to be. But 2010, being gay was very much accepted. I don't know why he felt he had to hide it. It was strange to be around. But to wake up with this dude's hands in my pants while I was sleeping, while I was fucking asleep, dude, that was the killer. That was the killer about the whole thing. If he had just turned around to me one day, give us a fucking, smack on the lips, you know what I mean? Like a bit pucker up, daddy, in a nightclub or something. We'd go, whoa, Zach, that's, sorry, bro. I'm sorry I gave you that impression. I just, I know I wear eyeliner in that, so I can understand, I'm just irresistible. It was strange. I didn't know how to feel. Especially, as a kid, I was a victim of something a lot more extreme in terms of sexual assault, like a lot more extreme from a family member. I won't go into that. Fucking Jesus Christ, I feel like I need one of those red couches to lie on. Oh, I don't know what to do, doctor. But that was it. That was I'd had that feeling come up again, where I was just. Do I hit him? What do I do? I walked away. And I decided I was angry. I was fucking furious. And I texted him saying, you never fucking speak to me again. Because I'd already told him about my previous traumas with that kind of thing. So I don't give a shit if you're gay. You don't fucking do that to someone. You don't do that to your best mate. You don't do it fucking period, dude. You don't do that at all. So that was it. We weren't speaking for that. This was early 2010. He eventually, I'm not sure who the first person to break the ice was after all that time. I think he messaged me and profusely apologized. And he did mention the whole sexual identity thing. He wasn't 100% said, look, I think I'm gay and I'm so sorry I put that on you. And you know what? After talking about it with him, I was empathetic because me and him had some good times, and he was at the time, like coming into being my best mate. And I was like, right, fuck, like, all right, I'm sorry this happened. Let's come and hang out. Let's go and have a drink. And, you know, I understand that you're struggling with sexuality, mate, but like, you do not do that again. It will never happen again. He said, yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah. And I forgave him. And he didn't. He genuinely, at the time, he seemed like he'd learned his lesson. Which I didn't think anything of it, honestly. So many years go by, and we're closer than ever after this point. He moved in with me for a little bit when he tried to move back to Bristol with me and my wife now. That was a pain in the ass. We had our fucking arguments. Zach, you know, beneath the surface was fairly talented at what he does with his graphic design, his music, his sax player, keyboard player. Not the best vocalist of all time, but, you know, the guy could hold a tune, which I wanted to take advantage of because, you know, why don't we be in a band? We were in a band, so we started a band together. It was a synthwave band at the time, and we did pretty well. We were doing pretty well. I think, sorry, I need this Jack and Coke. You know, think of the best things in your life. You know, walking your daughter down the aisle, winning the lottery. I don't think they come close to a Jack and Coke. Said the saddest person ever. Yeah, we did a lot. We were. He was trying to do his graphic design business, but just had no way of approaching clients. And I said, like, let's do it. Let's try and get you some clients, and I can be like the guy, you know. I could be like the face, and you do all the design work. I come in, I bring you all these clients and whatever. And I did. I brought him loads of bands. Well, I say loads of bands. I think only 2, maybe 3 eventually signed up to do music videos, because he did video production as well. Again, as I said, this guy was fairly talented at what he was. Bit of a one track. It was all based around like anime and like cutesy bubblegum shit. But I mean, if you're into that shit, you know, seller's market. A lot of people were. We tried all that. Didn't work. Tried the band. Didn't work. He was always in like, I don't know what was wrong with him. I've always been very militant. I'm sure the guys in Fonzie and Company would have told you that Fonzie does not take any shit, and it almost ruins it being in a band with him. And yeah, I've always had this outlook. It's like, dude, you want to fucking have fun and play in a band? Go and join a fucking covers band. I'm here to make a fucking impact. You know what I mean? I was always that mindset, and I haven't played in God knows how long now. But yeah, it was the same with Zach. Zach, you know, wasn't putting in the workload that I think he could have, and you know, that we did share duties, but there was just so much shit that wasn't going my way, and I was very controlling in that way, absolutely. But no, Zach definitely knows he had a part to play in that as well, with the laziness and the woe is me bullshit. This is the thing. He did kind of have a way of making you feel like you're the twat. You know, Zach was very vulnerable, sensitive. He would break down and cry more than most dudes. And again, there's nothing wrong if you want to, you know, be an emotional dude, break down and cry, you know, do all that shit. That's fine with me. It's not personally for me. You know, Mr. fucking testosterone, Mr. steroid over here, you know. Saying it's not cool for dudes to cry. That's not what I'm saying. But he would do it often, and it would often make you feel like a piece of shit. And you know, some of those situations I was wrong. I just wanted it too bad, and I didn't like what I was getting. And you know, anyway, did the band, that didn't work, and then Fonzie and Company started to come around, and I was just writing for it, and Zach did play keys, and I was like, oh, by the way, we were in a ska band together as well. We played sax in there. That was fun for a little while, but that fell apart, not because of him. But yeah, I wanted keys for Fonzie and Company, and there he was, and said, look, let's do this again, but I'm going to need more people involved to help me pick up the slack here. Because between me and you, it wasn't working. You know, I was like, right, this is the day we're going to do this. This is the day we're going to do this. And he would just kind of go in his own little world I was like, this isn't really how I work, because it's not hard work being in a band, in my opinion. It takes 10, 15 minutes a day to post something, to go and email someone, to update the merch page. You know what I mean? Like, these are people think it's work, but it's not real work. I graft about 56, 60 hours a week nowadays. That's fucking grafting. To be in a band and to do it well and to work your way to earn a living, that's fuck all. This is what I never understood, why so many people I work with never understood that. And it turns out a lot of them have never worked a fucking day in their lives, and this is all they wanted to do. But it's ironic because they haven't worked a day in their lives, therefore they will not do the work to be in a band. They'll just think they can turn up and play, not practice, and everything will be fine. But that's not how it works. I mean, obviously nowadays you got TikTok and you can just get that one trending video and, you get instant fame. It was the same back in the 90s. There's going to be those people. But anyway, it was, I asked him to join Fonzie and Company, and things kicked off. Things kicked off again. And he was a key player. He was the keys player, and he was a key player. He did the designs for a lot of it. He helped. It was great backing vocalists. Him and Liv worked all right together. He could never quite get the keys down, like the key tones. I wanted that kind of Mars Volta low octave organ, and he could never. I think I bought him a keyboard, like a really good one. I don't know if it was a Korg or something like that, and yeah, he could never quite master it. He was not very good at that sort of thing. But anyway, we played shows. Things were going well, and at the time he needed a new job. So my restaurant at the time, I said, mate, I could use an assistant manager. I was running this little Italian joint in Bristol. And I was like, dude, right, I need an assistant manager. Look, we can work together. It's going to be a bit difficult, but if you need the job, I know you have some traits in hospitality. And he agreed. So I've got my best mate there working at my job. That's all good. He's in my band. Fantastic. I didn't have a problem with that. I think my wife definitely had a little bit of issue at the time, which is like because he was around a lot, but him and her were best mates as well. It wasn't like it was just me and him, and then there's Beth. It was just my wife, Beth, me and him. We were just hanging out all the time, which we didn't mind. And then the time came around just after this restaurant that I'd asked him to join. I decided to propose to Beth, and man, he was sorry, this is I'm gonna get just for a second. This was around the time, I decided to propose to Beth, and he helped me organise the party, man. The plan was to get all of her friends, family, all extended family. We had about 70, 80 people. We probably had more there than we did at the actual wedding, man. Like, we had about 70, 80 people at a boat that I used to work at. And maybe I'm getting the timeline wrong again. Doesn't really matter anyway. I asked Zach to be at the boat so he can invite all the people in that we'd invited. And I was like, yeah, right, all you got to do is get him in. I'm going to take Beth up to this tower place. I'm going to propose to her. Or I'm going to give you a smiley face when it's on. If I give you a frowny face or something like that, it's off, and you need to get everyone out of there. And to be fair, he planned it down to the fucking T. He did. He did well. He did well. But yeah, I asked him to be my best man. I can't remember if it was there a little bit later, but I wanted him to be my best man. 100%, man. Been through a lot. By this point, a lot of years had passed. A lot. I think about. Again, I might be getting the timeline mixed up. I think it was about 2010 when he initially sexually assaulted me. So I think this was borderline in about 6 years later. I asked him to be my best man. Me and Beth got married in 2018, 2019. So, well, I don't even know my own wedding day. Yeah, fuck, what a bullshit husband. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, so there he is, my best man at my wedding. Amazing. So I've got this guy working with me. I got him in my band. I got him being the best man at my wedding. And was an incredible day, and no regrets. Everything was good. Fonzie and Company continued as per normal. We went through a few bass players. It was a shame, just some of them moved away. So some of them just couldn't do it anymore. So fair enough. But the same foundation stayed. Me, Olivia, it was the other singer, Sam Bennett, who was the drummer, and Zach and me. That was the consistency. But yeah, so this was coming round to when we had a few lineup changes. We got Sam Lane. No, we didn't have Sam Lane involved, did we, at the time? No. Sorry. This happened way before Sam Lane came on. Sorry, a lot of you guys are not going to know who these people are, but that was the new bassist I was trying to talk about. Anyway. Yeah, fast forward to a tour. Well, I say a tour that we did. You know when someone says they're on a tour, it's like 4 fucking dates. That's not a tour, dude. It's like a residency. You know what I mean? Well, we did this small little line of shows, starting in South, and then one of them was in High Wycombe. And I need you guys to bear in mind, Zach, in those 10 years, because I remember this was just before COVID happened. So this is 2020, right? Zach had initially sexually assaulted me back in 2010. So this is about 9-10 years later. During that time, he had done nothing, as far as I was aware. He had done nothing to me. We'd had arguments, of course, but nothing had happened. So we do the first gig. Not the best. I played like shit, but hey, 9 out of 10 times I did, so that's on me. We played the second show. Now, we had a big, like, sort of minivan at the time, like a big minivan. I'm not talking like a van. This was like I think it was an ex-school bus sort of thing that had been converted. So it had beds in the back, had cool little fucking fridges everywhere. This was a house on wheels, man. It was fucking awesome. I've got a little bit of a thing about where I like to sleep. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys do that. It's the same when I use public restrooms. I cannot, right, fun fact about me, I cannot poop in public places. I can't even do it at work. I would rather be super uncomfortable and wait till I get home. I don't know what it is about me. Maybe it's a complexity. I don't know. But it's almost the same with my sleeping. I do prefer to have my own beds, my own privacy, etc. Pretty much every time that me and Zach were put in this situation in those 10 years, I would always insist on separate beds. Whilst I never said like, yeah, it's because you did that back in the day. It was always just kind of insinuated, you know. I would always say, right, Zach's going to sleep there. All right, I'm going to sleep in the other room, even if it was uncomfortable. Because whilst no one had brought it up in all this time, there was always just something there. There was always just something lingering that I could never trust him again. But, you know, I did. Obviously, I did. I had, again, work, best man and bands, you know. You can't really trust more than that. But anyway, we got in a situation where we brought the minivan to the city and said, like, right, who's sleeping in the minivan? There was only really enough for 3, maybe 4 people to sleep. I said, I'm not going to lie, I was going to get a hotel. Zach had initially booked this. He said, "Oh, there's a Holiday Inn round the corner." I said, "Fantastic, let's book that." I said, "Can you make sure it's twin beds? So 2 single beds in one room, a twin room. Sorry, not twin beds. You know what I mean? Not sleeping in a fucking double-decker bed. You know what I mean? Double-decker couch." But yeah, we played the show. We even went out afterwards. Fucking great show. Great night out. Fantastic. We get back to this hotel and remember distinctly getting a bottle of wine from the bar. I was like, "Ooh, here we go." But I wasn't crazy pissed, to be honest. I just fancied a nightcap, to be honest with you. Probably about 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, maybe. I remember distinctly I wasn't drunk because I switched on Come Dine With Me. I'm sure you Americans would be familiar with the reality TV show where 4 random people come together, host dinner parties, and then they got to rate each other's dinner parties to give a result at the end of the week. I've just described the show in 10 seconds. And these motherfuckers are bitchy, let me tell you. And it's hilarious. What's a vegan anyway? But yeah, I distinctly remember switching that on. And I remember switching it off as well. All right, we got to be up in the morning. Let's go. Let's switch off the lights, sort of thing. I basically woke up in the middle of the night, probably about 5 in the morning. Let's say middle of the night, closer to early morning now, where my sheets were all off. Again, Zach's bed was probably what it was, an arm's length away from mine, still separate beds. And he decided to take off the sheets. I sleep in my underwear, just full disclosure, ladies and guys, you know. There he was, hand right on my dick, not in the pants this time. So at least he gave me that courtesy. But exactly the same as before. I just like, whoa, you know, you get that shock, wake up, and he does the same thing he did 10 years ago. Switch around, give it the old switcheroo on the other side, and allow a little fake snore just for clarity. And he done it again. And I remember staying up for another 2 or 3 hours because I remember watching the sun coming out. And now those feelings that I told you about before, whereas I didn't know whether to hit him or what, this time I genuinely debated beating the fucking living shit out of him to the point where he would be unrecognizable. And I thought about it. I was like, I'm going to wake him up. I'm just going to I'm going to get a pillowcase full of bars and soap and beat the shit out of you. Oh, as I said, I'm trying not to think of it too much. I'm joking. Again, I'm done being upset about it. It's still hard to talk about, but I stand there and I saw his back to me. He never fucking turned around again once. Wouldn't be surprised if he stayed up about as long as I did. But I didn't want it to be a hate crime. As I said, Zach always portrayed himself as the victim. And me being Mr. Militant fucking Fonzie, you know, the opinionated guy who gets his way, who has his way. I still am, you know, I'm a little bit less intense, but, you know, it's got me to where I am today, and I'm not going to fucking apologise for that. If you don't like it, I'll always be polite, courteous, I'll do anything you like, I'll do anything for you, but, you know, don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? But I didn't do anything. He woke up. I've never seen anyone so casual. He's like, morning. Anyway, I'm going to have a shower. Oh, and then just, that's it. I'm like, morning. I don't know why I said morning. Went, morning. I said morning to him. I still have no idea why. I've only just remembered. It's weird when you go through this, shit you remember. I remember saying morning back to him. It's like, Fonz, what the fuck are you, what the fuck are you doing? This guy just fucking groped you in your sleep again. And you fucking, the first time was worse, by the way. I'm not going to go into detail about the first time under the pants or whatever, but the second time, it doesn't matter. I said morning to the guy. And he went in the shower and paced up and down the room. I remember just did a few stretches. I was like, all right, what did we do? And I didn't do anything. I just put on clothes. It was quiet. It was quieter than usual. I know he'd know what he'd done. And I knew he knew what he'd done. And it put me in a foul fucking mood. I remember our bassist at the time going, Fonz, you all right, mate? I was like, yeah, bro, I'm good. Yeah, let's go and have a good show tonight. And I kept my mouth shut. My wife had come to that third show. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my band. I didn't tell my own wife what had happened. I just said, I'm just going to get through these next few shows and here we go. And I did. I'll tell you what, that show, after it had happened, I have never been so angry in my life. There was a guy, a manager from another band that was being a fucking cunt. And I turned around and told him he was a fucking cunt. Saying, you didn't shut the fuck up. I'm going to put your teeth down your fucking throat, you cunt. cunt. Yeah, I was, not in a good mood, not in a good way. And, yeah, people felt the wrath of that for sure. I just remember, the bass player distinctly asking me if I was all right. And my amp blew up. I was not having a good day, guys, to be honest. Someone's got a case of the Mondays. Tour ended, and COVID came very, very shortly after that. Lockdown happened. Everyone's got to stay at home and do fuck all. Everybody's going to get paid to stay at home and do fuck all. And, at the time we complained so much about that shit. It was crazy. My cat just turned on the metronome. Nala, would you turn on the metronome, you silly sausage? There you go. God, I love my cat, but she's a fucking arsehole sometimes. COVID happened, and I had some time to stew about what exactly had happened. And Zach was still working with me, by the way. He was still at the general job. Obviously, bands couldn't play. Everything had to be put on hold, but it was time to come back to work eventually. We started doing takeaways at the restaurant. I was like, this... probably not a good idea. But I remember coming back and being distinctly fucking angry with Zach. But I didn't address exactly why I was angry. I was just very passive aggressive, very Zach, do your fucking job properly or get the fuck out sort of thing. And even my colleague at the time was noticing, whoa, boys, you need to hash this out in a room or something. And I was like, no, you're right. And I thought about it, and I couldn't tell anyone about it because I almost, again, Zach does portray himself as a victim, and I didn't want to seem like I was a bully. I was almost blaming myself. I've got no idea why. That's not like me at all. The guy fucking groped you in your sleep. Why the fuck are you trying to excuse it or trying to blame anyone but him? I have no idea. This is not who I am, but for some reason, I did. And again, this wasn't just turning around to say, yeah, fuck you. He was a huge part of my wife's life. He was a part of my job, part of my band. It was just like, how do I do this? How do I do this? So I did message someone who we mutually knew at the time, but I thought, who can I speak to about this? So we knew someone called... I'll just call her A, just in case. I don't speak to her anymore, so it doesn't really matter. She's a Pittsburgh native. She lived in Bristol for a little while. We don't speak anymore, but I just said, look, I need to tell you this because you're all the way over there. Just please don't gossip about it because then I can only narrow it down to you if someone finds out. And I said, look, this is what Zach did. This is what he did 10 years ago. I don't know what to do here. She said, you need to get that fucking guy out of your life. I was like, great. Turns out she was still fucking friends with him after all this time. So even she didn't believe me. She was fucking on Instagram with him, oh my God, lol, that sort of shit. So even she didn't believe me. And why would she? What fucking excuse? What reason has she got to believe me? So... I'm like, right, but I mean, at the time, her words are enough to make me, because I remember being in the shower, I got out of the shower, I went to Beth, I said, Beth, I need to tell you something. I think she thought I cheated on her or something. I think she thought I'd fuck someone else or something like that. I remember just her face going a bit like, oh, what? When you bring home flowers, there's a clear indication that you've done something a bit dodgy. I just said, but I just told her, I said, look, that tour, this is what happened. She'd already known, by the way, about the previous time. I had told her this, and she decided to forgive him and was always a bit cautious. I think that's why she didn't like us hanging out too much, thought it was a bit weird still. But, I mean, I asked her to forgive him because I had forgiven him. So it was a bit weird, very strange situation. But once I told her about the second time it happening, she fucking said, get this fucking guy out of your life now. He needs to fucking die. I don't think she said fucking die, but needs to be cleared, deleted, erased from our lives. And you know what? I followed it up with a message saying, Zach, I need to talk. We haven't formally spoken about this, but you know exactly what you did to me while we were on tour. You know exactly what you did in the middle of the night. And it's just made me realize that I can't be around you. You need to find an excuse to quit work. You need to tell everyone you're fucking leaving the band, and I want you out of my life, and I never want to see you again. And he said, "Oh, that, yeah, okay, yeah, I completely understand." And that was genuinely the last time I ever spoke to him. This was crazy. Yeah, so he did. He messaged the band chat. We had a band chat, as a band should. Said, "Guys, I'm leaving the band. Yeah, thanks." And then just left. He just, I think he sent an email into my work at the time and just said, "Yeah, I'm not coming back," or worked off his note. I can't remember. Either way, I didn't see him again after that. But yeah, that was it. Well, at least I thought. That was out of my life, and I was fucking livid about the whole thing. But I was just about to, drop it and just go, fuck it. Just, this guy's out of your life now. But that is, imagine knowing a guy 13 years and him doing that to you again after fucking 10 years, man. It's crazy. But unfortunately, the story does not end there. It gets worse. It gets a lot worse. Unfortunately, we knew a guy. We knew one that Zach had introduced me to a guy called Jay. Again, not his real name, but again, I told these guys I would not use their real names. So me and Jay had hanged out with Zach. Jay and me had hung out a few times, just by ourselves, and he was a good mate. And to this day, he's still a fucking close mate. A really close mate, in fact. Like, me and him chat every other day. It's insane. And he's such a decent bloke. And it was weird. Like, so we were just hanging out, me and Jay, one day. This was after I'd gotten Zach out of my life. And he just turned around to me one day. I think we were just having a good old session. And he said, "Look, can I ask you a question?" Why aren't you and Zach speaking anymore? And I honestly wanted to lie, but at this point I was still pretty fucking butthurt about the whole thing. So I decided just to tell him the truth. And it's like, Zach is a serial fucking sex offender. He did it to me 10 years ago. This is what he did, yada yada. And then on tour last year, he decided to do it again, tried to do it again. Luckily I woke up on time. But yeah, there his hand was when I woke up, and he pretended to be asleep. Yada yada yada. And his response was, "Dude, I need to tell you something as well. He's done that to me." I was like, "Excuse me?" He said, "Yeah, he's done it to me." Again, I might be mixing up the timelines exactly when it happened, because for some reason I do remember having a conversation with Zach about what he had done to Jay. It came up somewhere, somehow. I think we were all drunk, and I think it had just come up. One of those things when you're so drunk you can't quite recollect exactly what someone said. But yeah, he said Zach had done this to him. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, "Yeah, dude, on more of a couple of occasions." And I was like, "This is insane. What the fuck?" And O, who I was speaking about earlier, whose student house we stayed in, we got chatting to him. And he said, "Guys," and we didn't even have to fucking ask him about it. He didn't even have to ask us about Zach, or vice versa. What was the weirdest fucking thing of all is that O had realised that me and Zach weren't talking. And then when I said hi to him one day, he said, "I think I know exactly the reason why you and Zach aren't talking." I said, "Why?" He said, "Look, a couple of years ago, Zach did this to me. A lot, exactly the same nature. He got it. Some guy, Jay and O got it, arguably a little worse than I did. And so you can sort of paint a picture. Again, I'm not going to go in graphic detail because there's literally no point. It's the fucking action that's the main point here. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, how many fucking people has he done this to? So we started asking around. We started asking around anyone who had ever been around Zach, anyone that I'd ever met through him. You know how many people came forward with these stories? 11 fucking people. 11 fucking people came through in the end. They'd either given us a WhatsApp, a Facebook message, an Instagram message saying, yeah, Zach did this to me once. Yeah, Zach put his finger there. Zach jerked me off here. Fucking all these stories, all these fucking testimonies from these guys. And I was disgusted. I thought I had known this guy. I thought this was my best mate. I did everything with this motherfucker. I'd shared so much to fucking have him betray me, betray all these guys. And he had this, and it was the same fucking story. He'd buy gifts. Anytime someone would get angry with him for doing something, he'd fucking, oh no, it's my autism. No. He would just make stupid fucking asshole excuses. And it would make you feel like the cunt. And the pattern was insane. So we got together. A load of us tried to get together. There was a few out of those 11 guys that didn't want to be part of this. But I said, guys, we need to stop. We need to stop him. Where does this fucking end? Turns out, after thorough research, in university, apparently, before I'd even met Zach, he had been arrested for sexual harassment, sexual assault. I can't remember which one, but along the lines of the same nature. Tried to jerk someone off in their sleep, basically. I was like, are you fucking... The moment we all found this out, it's like, dude, this is a serial fucking sex offender. We have to stop him. We have to fucking do something about this. I couldn't just fucking believe what I was hearing. You think you know someone. You think you fucking know someone, man. And fuck me. Even now, I'm trying to just put the words together. Like, trying to put it in a nutshell. This is me in a nutshell. Help, I'm in this nutshell. Sorry, fuck that. That was an awful joke, awful quote there. I couldn't. But guys, this was... So, I decided to put this in about 2020. I said, that from the guys that were left that actually wanted to come forward with the statements, I think there was about 7 remaining. So there was at least another 4 guys who had said, no, I don't want it. This happened ages ago. I've never seen him since. We weren't that close. I don't really care, sort of thing. But there was some guys that remained and said, yeah, we need to stop him. This needs to be brought to the police because this is going to get worse and worse. You just never know what's going to happen. And we felt like it was our obligation. Not only justice for us, of course we want justice for what he's fucking done, for the betrayal, for everything that he's put us through. Like, it was more about stopping the fucking guy from doing it again, which was always the intention from the start. So, the 7 of us... was it 6 or 7 at the time? Again, guys, this is in 2020. So at the end of 2020, I put in a statement to the police. I had never done this before. I didn't get a chance to do it to that family member I was talking about when I was younger. I was like, and God knows what he did after he did it to me. Fucking hell. So, excuse me. Yeah, so after... Sorry guys, I'm trying to get it to my head, just trying to get around, just trying to get through it. Sorry. But yeah, I never even made a statement to the police about this sort of thing. I mean, who knows? Is that something I had to Google it. I was like, how the fuck do you complain or report a case? And, I did it. I reported a case. Someone emailed me. I emailed them straight away with all the information I knew about these guys. We all put statements together. And that was it. The ball was rolling after that. Guys, no, my cat's trying to get down. I'm hoping she goes the other way. There we go. But yeah, we got the statements in. Brilliant. So from this point onwards, it was police interviews, getting into such graphic detail. I understand the police have to do what they got to do in order to get down exactly what's happened. Plus, guys, if this is an historical case, Obviously, this has happened prior. Obviously, the fresher the crime, the easier it is to arrest someone. If you get caught robbing a bank and you're the dude in the fucking black and white stripy jumper outside, chances are you're probably going to get arrested and convicted on the spot. But this is a historic case, so this has got to be handled delicately, and it is not a high priority case at all because other shit's happening, guys. There are rapes, robberies, everything happening, in real time. So the moment something happens, and of course this is fucking Bristol, London, this is the UK, man. There's crime happening everywhere. So the moment, something happens, we get pushed back. And we got to get all these statements gathered, yada, yada, yada. And I'm not trying to shit on the police here. I'm really not going to try. Because eventually the detective that we ended up with has been a fucking babe. I'm making it sound like really demeaning, calling her babe, but she's been a sweetheart. She's been professional. Shout out to Sim, man. Sim has been fucking incredible, and I really can't thank her enough for just talking us down off a ledge at some point. Honestly, it was that bad. Because, guys, between 2020, when we initially put these complaints over and the police said they're going to get invested, to 2 days ago, it was only 2 days ago that we got our day in court. So think about it. Nearly 4.5 years, actually, I think I counted over there. It's been 4.5 years from the day we put in our statement to the day we got something in court. Zach was arrested in between that time, to which he gave a no comment interview. Now, you guys, you're watching your Law and Order and your NCIS and your Suits and your American TV shows. Usually, you arrest someone, you have jurisdiction to hold them for 48 hours unless they charge you. Well, that's the thing with the cops anyway. I'm not sure about in the UK, but it used to be that you just said, no comment, no comment. And of course, a no comment interview means you're not giving a statement because you haven't said you're guilty, you haven't said anything, you've got nothing to go off. So naturally, they can't arrest you. They can't convict. They can't convict you. They can't charge you. So that's what Zach decided to do. He got arrested. Was it last year, year before? He got arrested, and you know what? The idea that he got arrested while he was working really made my heart flutter. The idea of cops pulling him in, that really made us smile, because Zach had been walking around thinking he's been home free all this time. So look at all this, look at all this. And he did get arrested, and he decided to say no comment. No comment. His thrift shop lawyer decided that was the best approach. Unfortunately, cops do not see that as we have no evidence to go on interview. They think of it as this motherfucker's got something to hide interview. Because of course, if I got arrested on those charges, I'd be like, what the fuck? Give me that. Who said that? Right, I'll tell you exactly where I was. Right, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm clear in my name. There's no fucking way they're getting away with this. You know what he did there? He sat there and said, no comment. No comment. For 3 fucking hours. Pathetic, sad scum. And you know what? Bit him in the arse in the end. So we had, altogether, guys, 14 charges eventually came through from the CPS. That is our court, I can't forget what the fucking CPS is called. It's the court-appointed, people who decide whether a charge is going to happen or not, basically. And all the evidence was eventually given. There was a few corrupted files. We changed detectives a few times. So there's been so much held back. And honestly, we were about to give up. We were, because what? And even one guy decided that this wasn't worth it after 2 years in there. He said, fuck this. Fuck the police. Like, if this was 7 or 8 women, they would have fucking arrested and charged and jailed the guy by now. But it's because it's guys. And you know what? I think that was a fucking dumbass move. I think that was a stupid fucking move. Because again, all you people say, oh, fuck the police and all that shit. You're fucking speaking in absolutes. You're speaking in generalizations, which you should be in society be against. because you're going to get a few coppers who ruin it for everybody. But I mean, for the most part, I think they are trying their best. I think they are anyway. But for a while there, I almost stupidly agreed with him. For a second there, I agreed. Like, yeah, you know what? It was 3 years by this point. It's like, what the fuck are they doing? What the fuck do we have to do here? And me and Jay were speaking, and Jay was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to get on with my life. I was like, mate, I want to as well. And then when I was feeling low, I was like, fuck, mate, I'm pulling out. I can't do this anymore. And he was like, mate, we're nearly there. The amount of times all of us would just pull together and just say, it's going to be fine, boys. We're going to get through it. So 14 charges he had in the end. Fortunately, with a court, with something like that, you have a threshold of 10 because I believe that's the maximum sentence you can get. So doesn't mean if he was charged for 11, 12, 13, 14, it would have come out with the same charge. That's how it works, I believe. God, I found out so much about the law while doing this. But yeah, that day finally came, guys. Well, it actually came 2 months ago on his first hearing. So a hearing is when you go into the court and you say, guilty or not guilty to these charges. Yeah, pretty simple, right? Apparently not. Apparently it wasn't that simple. The lawyer, again, Zach's thrift shop lawyer, decided that he hadn't had enough time to go through all the evidence. So that clearly tells you there's a lot of evidence. Am I right? And it got delayed. It got delayed again. And the second time, got delayed. And this was just like the icing on that shit-eating grin face of his. Like, it was just, we thought he was getting away with it. Like, how can they keep delaying this? How can they keep postponing something like this? He's out on the streets right now. It's mental. But guys, 17th of October, that's when it all changed. Zach put in for a plea bargain. Now, he was going to originally plead for 5 counts. We could have got, I mean, it doesn't really matter. As I said, we had, a 10 charge threshold, so he can't get charged for more than that. We know what we settled on, guys. We settled on 6. I have no idea why. Well, I do know why. Because it had been 4.5, nearly 5 fucking years of doing this. And the detectives explained exactly what that would mean if we take this. It said, if you take this is exactly what's going to happen. He's going on a register. He's going on DBS. He's going to do, hopefully, a custodial sentence, which will be he needs that because he's going to do it again. And this was exactly why I got into this in the first place. This is why we all got into this in the first place, to stop it from doing it again. And, yeah, and now we've settled. And now the sentencing is in January, guys. January. So, one last Christmas. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. The very next day, you end up in jail. So, it's amazing the different reactions when I eventually started telling people, initially in the band, like, as I said, when Zach sent that message saying, right, I'm out, sort of thing. I think the rest of the band had assumed I bullied him out of it because me and him didn't gel on a musical level. And they didn't speak to me for ages. And because they thought I was to blame. And I didn't tell him. And, eventually I did tell him after I told my wife and that. I just told them, I said, guys, this is the fucking reason. And you know what? Fair play to my band members, Liv and Sam. They did profusely apologise and asked if they could do anything and that. And like, no, it's cool. Let's just keep writing music. Unfortunately, the music fucking stopped, but there you go. But yeah, and too many clashes. Again, as I said, with that work ethic, I just want it a little bit more, and I'm willing to put that much more in. It's just as simple as that, guys, and that will ruin it for some people. And it is what it is, but this is all about Zach, and it's mental that some of Zach's friends didn't believe a fucking word we said. It's incredible. I hope some of those people, excuse me, I've been talking a while now. I hope some of those people were listening to this when I tried to tell them, I really hope you are, guys, because I have no bad blood against you. And I really hope you've got none against me, because I've done fuck all to deserve it. But, I mean, there will be people listening to this who know Zach, who will only just be finding out about this now. And it's going to be, and even if they don't now, there's going to be a big fucking press release about it, because there's still people that need to come forward, because we are not the only ones. We know this for a fact. Zach pleading to 6 charges out of the 14 he initially had. He is getting off light right now. There are still even more people we know that need to come forward. We know this. And those people who are friends with him and, again, decided to believe him because, again, the vulnerable puppy dog, oh, he can do no wrong. Jacques a baby. Oh, that mean old Fonzie. Oh, he's a mean old fucking bastard, isn't he? It's like, yes, I am. A bit of tough love, but I'm I'm the nicest motherfucker you want to be. But if you fuck me, you fuck around with me, I'm going to bite back fucking hard, love. And love, I don't know. I was speaking to, dude, love, mate, whatever. And I hope those people are listening to this now, realizing you fucking picked the wrong horse, dude. Like, this isn't a competition, but I hope that Zach didn't end up doing it, because I know a lot of these people that were friends with Zach, I don't know if they still are, but there was some concern there. And we tried to warn a few of these guys that Zach was still hanging around with, said, believe me, you don't want to do this. And the courts and the police would say, you cannot talk about what's happened here. All we can do is warn them. So I tried to tell them, do not hang out with Zach. And they thought, Fonzie just kicked him out of the band. No, I only kicked him out of his restaurant. What a fucking prick. And I was like, no, listen to me. Believe me, I will be able to tell you more in the near future, but do not hang out with Zach. Do not fucking sleep around his house, and vice versa. You will, you will get fucked, but that's a bit too literal. I try to warn people, but they didn't want to listen, because I don't know if it's a character assassination or I'm an assassin on my own character. Who knows? But it doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, sorry, this has been a long one, but it's a special episode. I need you guys to kind of realize one thing. There's going to be a lot of you that have been in this situation, and we know, even from what I've, vaguely described, I think you can kind of get an idea on what he did to me and what he did to at least 11 other dudes. And we consider ourselves lucky, and we said it was quite fucked up how lucky we are, because it could have been so much worse. It could have been. Of course, we're not lucky that it happened to us. The thing that hurts the most is the betrayal. It's what he did, and the patterns to get there. Exploiting our weaknesses. Plagiarizing our good nature. That's the grooming. It's grooming. That's how he did, just to get us in a position eventually where he could do that. And I didn't know any of this about him. So if you guys have been in a worse situation, or you know someone in a worse situation to me, I'm supposed to be the guy to say to you right now, yes, go to the police immediately. And am I saying that? Of course I'm saying that. You need to. And I'm just telling you, it's not going to be easy. But it can be. It depends how much of a mindset and how much you want it and how much you want justice for yourself and for others. And I'm speaking to women, I'm speaking to men. I know we're dudes, we're just fucking, 7 or 8 who are left of us anyway, 6 or 7. I can't remember how many of us there are left now. I think it's 5 now that are actually going to the sentencing. It's insane. Like, this has just drained us. It's not going to be easy. The police will ask you difficult and uncomfortable questions, but it's so they can get their investigation thorough. It will not happen overnight. Police are severely underfunded. And as I said, they got to take, if it's a historical case, if you get, guys, obviously I wish nothing but the best of you, but if you happen to get in that situation where you're sexually attacked, assaulted, raped, if anything of that description, you need to be able to come forward at the moment it happens, because, and get that conviction straight away, because you'll be waiting a hell of a lot less time believe me, you cannot let that simmer. You can't say, oh, he was a good guy. Oh, no, she was just like, oh, in a bad place that day. You need to be able to do it. And I'm just here to tell you that it's worth it, because you're getting someone off the street who's going to do it again. Don't do it for yourself. Do it for someone else. And they might try and change their ways, etc. But, even the cops, while saying this, like, based on this evidence and based on previous experiences, this is the kind of guy that will do it again. If you guys had not come forward and stopped this, we can almost guarantee from the cases we see on a day-to-day basis, he would have done this again. And we can't have that, guys. We can't. It starts with you. And, you don't have to. You do whatever you like. Because you're going to think, I'm hoping none of you are listening to this right now and have been through anything worse than what we have, or the same, or whatever. But if you have, then it's going to be up to you to make that decision. 1 or 2 awkward interviews, eventually, at least with us anyway, and a long, waiting, grueling process. And it will be. But you would have done something right, at least by doing that, even if it leads nowhere eventually. I'm not going to say you win. The fucker might even get away with it. You never know what's going to happen. But at least you've put it on the police's radar. So if it ever does happen again, they'll know, right, actually, this guy was reported. It never got anywhere. But, at least it creates a pattern for the police to kind of do their fucking work and, get the fuckers off the streets. And guys, thank you. I thank you very much for listening. This was, as I said, previous podcasts, I did say I wanted to bring this up, and I have not been able to. I've had my fucking hands tied about this, dudes, and I've wanted to come up clean about this for ages. This is my therapy. I told all the rest of those guys, this is my therapy, guys. I need those guys to be strong, and they are. Meeting these guys, knowing Jay, knowing O, I'm just going to say B&M as well. Those are 2 of the other guys. When we all meet on the 7th, we said we're going to suit up because we fucking earned it. We're going to go to the closest bar. We're going to cheers, and that beer's going to be the best fucking beer any of us have ever drank. Just for sitting there and persisting. We're not heroes. We're just six ugly ass dudes, 5 ugly ass dudes who just had something done wrong to us that needs to be. We need to correct the world a little bit, and all I just ask, guys, if you take anything away from this, please do the same. If you're ever in that situation or know someone in that situation, I just can't exaggerate that enough. We deserve better. Thanks, I've been Fonzie. You guys take care. I swear to God, the next episode will go back to me being funny, being all jolly, but I mean, hopefully that gives you a kind of idea about why I've been away for a little while. But I'm going to get back into the swing of things, taking the piss out of myself, being a bit more fun. Keep listening to the music, and I'll see you.